What's up, guys, and welcome to a new summit guide for the crew Motorfest, and we will look today on the Street Custom Summit, so the first summit after the update. And thanks to Ubisoft, I had the opportunity to have a pre-look on it in the early access and do the summit already. So the points may be not the best, but it will completely be enough for Platinum. So in rewards, we get 50k XP for bronze. For silver, we get a tuning part for Street Tier 2. I don't know why for Street Tier 2, because all races are Street Tier 1, but nah. For gold, you get the Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX, and for platinum, you get the Hoonigan Underglow. Don't know if you want it, but I guess for some cars it might look cool. So yeah, just take it. Okay, for 3 done events, you get 50k XP as well. For 6 events done, you get again a tuning part for a Street Tier 2 car. So I don't know why Street Tier 2 in a completely Street Tier 1 summit, but it is how it is. And for 9 events done, you get 100k bucks, I guess, and 100k points bonus for the summit. So do all 9 events, you get 100k points for free. And as always, I wish you a lot of fun with that video and good luck with the summit. You will need it. Okay, starting at the top of this summit, we start with Street Tier 1, the Focus RS race. We use a Nitro Chemist set on Extra Pump and Pure, and I hope you guys all just hit the subscribe button and shared the video to everyone who hasn't noticed. I do English summit guides now, so just share it to make it more public. Okay, we start the first race in a very easy straight. Just keep the nitro for the first jump at around 3% when we go into that tunnel. Slightly, I guess, about 10 to 20 kilometers per hour if you do the air nitro right there. First corner, just go straight left and then cut to the right, not like I did. Don't slip away. Take it a little bit on the inside, and then the hard part on 11% is to get on this small road while cutting the corner. Not that easy, but I think you can get that. So then at 14% jump and use air nitro, of course. Always when jumping, use nitro. Nitro is the strongest in air in this game. Then at 19% cut straight to the corner. Just try to get it really straight so you don't lose that much speed. Pretty easy if you have it in the second or third try. Maybe first try not that easy, but in second or third try you should get that. Then 26% you can cut the corner again, just go on speed. And for all guys who are not really happy with my points in this summit guide, I can understand that. It was the early access. I didn't have that much time, 36% cut through the corner. I didn't have that much time for the early access this time, so please be kind with my points. And if you want to look how I do it in the real game, because that was early access, you can watch the stream on Thursday or Sunday evening. Thursday we will go through the complete update, and Sunday we will go all for the summit, but Thursday we will do the summit as well. So just look into the video description, we have the Twitch link, and come visit. And I can speak English there too, so might just write a comment. Okay, at 56% corner, you can cut it more on the inside than I did here. That wasn't perfect, so you get more speed on the next straight. And I missed, I guess, the high jump. You have full air nitro there, so you get to around 390 kilometers per hour. And at 60-70%, again, use complete air nitro on that jump. You can jump completely over the building. Makes it much more speedy on the next part when you have around 250 kilometers per hour. Then just shift down to the 4th gear when you come to the part where the jump when you're jumping downwards, so you get the next right corner good. You have to see that corner before you're jumping down. You can either brake in the 6th gear and shift down to the 5th when you're down, or just shift in the 4th gear before you're jumping down. Then you should be able to get that corner good. Then keep up your nitro again and wait for around 87-88%. When you come to the straight, you can give a little bit of nitro and keep a little bit, because you need it for at 90% the jump and the water part with complete nitro power, so you can be at around 310 to 350 kilometers per hour at 95% for the last straight. It is not that hard of a race, but I guess there are some moments, some points in this race where you just have to have an advice if you don't know how to drive it. Okay, again you see not that much points in the race, but that isn't only because I'm racing, but it's too because Street Tier 1 is never getting that much points, because the points in Summit are regarding, I guess, to the times in the normal races in the custom mode, so where everyone is driving with Alpha Grand Prix and Hypercar. So Street Tier 1 is just not getting that much points in Summits. Okay, the next race is just like we had it in a few Summits ago, so we take the first jump at 18 seconds, slightly left just besides the palm tree, so we get the checkpoint and land downwards and have full air nitro, so we can get to about 280 kilometers per hour in the first round and 315 in the second round. Then we have that braking corner at 34 seconds, really slow, just to get through straight. Be not too fast at 40 seconds, just like I did. I was too fast and slipped into the wall. That you don't have to do that, just brake a little bit more and do the corner more softly. You can use air nitro at about 48-49 seconds for that jump, but don't use too much, because again at 56 seconds you see we have slightly thin sharp corners where you have to go through, so don't be too fast. And then we go full nitro again on the straight jump with around 250 to 300 kilometers per hour, slightly to the right, so you get through the building with top speed. Now you have the respawn at around 1 minute and 16 seconds, and for that respawn you have to acknowledge that after the update, even if you had changed the option to just press not hold a button, now you have to wait a while, so you have to respawn before you crash into the wall to get the right respawn point. Okay, do that for both rounds, you should be good. Again, only 121k points is okay for that summit because Street Tier 1 every event. So for the third event you can use the Audi RS2 Avant, now the new car, because it might be new meta car for this game after it released today. So yeah, might use it. I didn't use it in the early access, but I will use it tomorrow. I already have seen that people are getting greater times with the Audi. Okay, at 4% you can already jump down with a little bit of air nitro. Make sure you have your AI difficulty set to 1, so you can pass the AI before that jump downwards, or while you're doing that jump downwards. Then you cut at 90% the corner a little bit, so you get through with more speed. Then nothing special happens until 40% to that bridge. You should know from Grand Races. But make sure you brake there a little bit. Don't do it like in Grand Races and crash into the wall. That's not good for summits. Okay, the next corner at around 52%, you can do a power drift, but you don't have to. You could do it normally. I used the power drift and it worked pretty good. For people who don't know, power drift is using nitro, handbrake and steering in at the same time, just for a short second, and then try to control your car. Okay, for the next part, you should try to gutter that race, but as you see, the focus is not that good for guttering, so maybe here the Audi RS2 Avant is just better. Then after the bridge at around 70%, you cut straight through the corner and into the next checkpoint. Again, here is a respawn corner, so you have to press respawn before getting there, because now you have to wait for it. The next corner you're just driving normal before you got over the next bridge at 78%, where you can again use a power drift to make the next corner a little bit more on the inside without losing all your speed. Okay, the next serpentine curves are not that easy. You have to get the first one on the inside to cut to the next checkpoint in the right curve and respawn again, and then steer completely into the right before you spawn, so that you get the right angle for the corner. So when you're respawning, completely steering in while respawning to the right, so that you spawn right. Okay, then just full nitro into the finish, and that should be the third race in this summit. Pretty easy again, slightly below 120k points. Okay, the fourth race is forced to drive with the Audi, and here you should already see the car really is good at what it does. Oh, my voice just cracky again. Operation next week, yay! The first part of the race pretty easy, just give gas, don't use all your nitro, you will need it after the first corner. And I just want to say at the beginning, here is a respawn cut in this race I didn't use here, so I will use it in the summit tomorrow when I'm doing it in the stream on Thursday and on Sunday, but I will tell you where it is, okay, so you can try it. It's not pretty hard. Okay, after the first corner, give nitro until you get to around 38 seconds here in the race. Try to get that corner more on the inside, with more speed. Don't lose that much speed, as in every corner you're trying not to lose that much speed, because after that we have a very long straight. Just give nitro there to go on max speed. On the ramp at the end of that, at around 1 minute, go slightly to the right, try to land on that road here, and after that, the first right corner at around 1 minute 10 seconds, you can go much more on the inside to get the whole right left corner thing a little bit faster without losing that much speed. Then at 1 minute 17 seconds, you could have seen on the left side there was a space between the two buildings. That's where we could do the respawn cut. Just drive in there, try not to hit the trees or the parking cars, and when you're near to the next road, then you could get to the respawn point. So there respawn, you should spawn right before the checkpoint and be able to get it without the whole braking, because that's a very sharp corner and the braking costs a lot of time. So if you can do it, just try the respawn and you should be good with it. It isn't that hard. I already tried it, but in the early access I did. So try it, it's really possible. Okay, next race, fifth race, is the Mazda RX-7 10th anniversary Nitro Chemist set again with pure and extra pump. As I said, we use that in every race. I didn't show it in the ODS 2 Avant, I didn't show it in the Mazda Cosmo Sport later, but we use the same set everywhere. Okay, this race is completely for guttering, so I will give a short introduction into guttering again. Guttering means you get your two in a corner, you get your two tires on the inside off-road and the other two tires on the road on the outside, so you kinda get pulled through the curve. It's not pretty easy to explain that in English if you're not a native speaker, but I hope I do it right, and you should see it at around 10% what I'm trying to do. For all people, try it with half gas. Don't use full throttle, don't use no throttle. Just try it with half. And one thing I just learned yesterday about guttering, what really helps, I didn't expect that, but it does. Turn on controller vibration, because guttering will give you a feedback on how good you are in the gutter. It should slightly vibrate, not too much, not too less. When you're on the road, it doesn't vibrate at all. When you're in the gutter, it gives a slight feedback. And this feedback helps to learn the guttering itself. Because as I tried it without the vibration, it wasn't pretty easy to know if you're getting the gutter or if you don't. And with the vibration on, you get a feedback for that. So, two corners with a great cutting option here. I didn't talk about it because guttering for this race is by far more important, and the two corners where you really can cut here should be pretty obvious for most of you. Okay, now we come to the... Wow, this race, I don't know, most of you might play the Crew 2, you should know the race Latrell's Car Part 1, and that's pretty much the exact same thing for Motorfest, it's just cutting everywhere. Okay, the first corner we can cut pretty instantly, pretty far cut, but try to get your car controlled so that you don't lose that much speed. You can do that with around 150 kilometers per hour. The second opportunity for a cut is at 30%. I just let it go because I didn't get it only once, and it doesn't spare you that much time. So maybe just drive that normally. Then at 70% slightly cut on the inside, and at 19 to 20% you could cut left from the temple, but I won't do that. I wouldn't do that because I tried it 1 or 2 times. It's not that easy. It doesn't spare that much time, and you are losing all your speed. You're pretty slow when you reach the checkpoint that way, and as I did it here with the normal route, you're just at a high speed, and that's exactly what you need for the next part, because as you might see on the map right now, after the next checkpoint there are a lot of serpentines up the hill, and you see the next checkpoint is completely up. So we just cut all these serpentines, go straight up the hill. Not that easy with such an old timer. Try to stay on the left, not too much on the left, but slightly right from the checkpoint, but don't get too much to the right because you will jump over the hill. That's not what you want. At 32% then you're again just getting inside off-road, jumping down 2 hills. Still not good, not funny, but not the hardest part. The hardest part is at 36% when you're jumping through this little canyon over the hill in the woods. It's pretty much a horror movie. It's not funny at all. But if you do it, I didn't do it, with high speed, then you have to brake a little bit, because at 41% where I drove the corner, normally you can cut on the inside from that building to the checkpoint at 42%, get a little bit more speed, and if you're really good at it, you have nitro here, so you can get a little bit more speed on the straight. Then cut into on 49% for the little half island and go straight around. There's nothing special. For the outgoing of the island, you could cut on the outside here at 73% before you get into the corner, just to get a better angle at the inside of that bridge. But if you want to do that, you cut outside the first tree and then go back inside and cut onto the bridge. After that, just spare a little bit of nitro when you're here at around 78%. As you might see on the map soon at 80%, there is coming a little curve formation where you can cut again, and you cut at that point where you can see the beach. Okay, you see the sand, and that's where you want to cut in, drive through the beach and get onto speed again with nitro, but not too much. Again, spare a little bit, because the next corner is pretty hard. I failed it completely, as you might see, just had to respawn. Not that good. After that, there's nothing too special, just a little straight, then again a little curve, and then a little straight again into the finish line. Not that hard, but that race could be possible, or I have seen people do it, under 5 minutes. I don't know how. I'm doing it in 5:26. Not that good of a round, but it was okay. And yeah, 5:26. Ouch. Okay, the next thing is the slalom. I did it with the Bugatti because you might see it has a better score breaking set with skilled on 12% per part. That was in the early access. It isn't in the final game, as I know now, but I wanted to show that, so here it is. There are some kind of better sets coming to Motorfest, I guess, like there were in the Crew 2. I don't know how, I don't know when, and yeah, but they are there. So I just used it. I had no plane set, so you could do that with the plane. The most important thing is you use a skilled set, score breaker set with skilled, and if you want to do it good, do it in opposite direction. Okay, the next thing was the speed test. Well, I didn't have a set for Dragster, so I used stock car, and as I used the stock car, I used the roof because it is the stock drag car with the highest car level. If you can, always use a Nitro Chemist set with Frenetic and Pure, and use Slipstream and use the Proto Hub 1 for that. Okay, and then it's the exact same thing, just slightly faster. I did around 460 kilometers per hour. I used the rewind. You see that's still possible even after the update, but you should reach around 650 kilometers per hour. Around 700 I think is possible when you're doing it Slipstream. I don't know how it is without. I couldn't test it because yeah, but I did, I think, 650 in the testing in the actual game. Okay, last thing is the escape. We use the Bugatti 110. You could use the new 300 Plus Divine Edition, but I didn't test it for now, so I didn't use it. Okay, you drive in an opposite direction. You could start with the plane, directly jumping into the southwest, but that's more difficult, so I guess most of you might just use the car. Drive more to the right than I did on here, so you don't crash into the woods and just go onto the streets directly. Keep a little bit of nitro for the straights. You have to use that into the tunnel, so the zone won't get you here. But still, don't use all of your nitro, because you will need a little bit on the outgoing of the tunnel. As you might see, you have to brake here a little bit at around 2,500 meters to get the right corner, then jump down the hill, get to 7th gear and use air nitro, so you can jump the complete mountain in one, and then try to come try to get here on the road again into the streets with as much speed as possible. Then there's one left corner at around 4,300 meters. You have to brake a little bit and then just go full throttle and go at as much speed as you can with all nitro you have, and you should be. It is possible to reach around 6,000 meters here, 6,800 I guess, before you have to jump out on the left. But if you get this far as I did here, you get 145,000 points, and that's completely enough for a summit. So you don't have to use that much more time if you get that points. But as you might see, I got 1,169,000 points. For me, a pretty bad run on a summit, but don't feel too bad about such points, because it is 6 Street Tier 1 events which don't give that much points. So if you notice you get lower points than in the last summit, it's partly because of the event, not because you were driving badly or something. Okay, I hope the summit video again helped you and you liked it. And the most important thing I can tell you, the best thing you can do for me is just share it and subscribe to the channel if you want more of that videos, and leave a comment with maybe some options what I can do better. I wish you the best week, and maybe we'll see each other next week on a summit guide, but I don't know, because I got surgery on Tuesday, so I may be not home, so I maybe just leave it to other creators for that week. I don't know already. So see you soon.